What's up, everybody? Welcome to the No Scrubs Allowed podcast. Seal, how you doing over there, bud?
I'm doing okay, man. You could watch it on YouTube, see me drinking heavily today. Jaguars franchise tag Cam Robinson. We'll dive into that, but that has been the mood of my day. I woke up crying, didn't know why, and then I shortly later realized it was that. So yeah, we're going, but we have football to talk about. We are a day late. That's my fault. I got a new job. I've been doing training and stuff. So we're a day late, $1 short, but we have a hell of a lot more football talk to talk about, which we always love to do.
Absolutely. And there hasn't been a lot this week, obviously, because the NBA All-Star break was going on. So spring training, we don't care about. Hockey, we don't really care about. But we did have one thing happen before we get to football that actually happened on the court, and that was the NBA All-Star game. And it was a single day event where they did everything together. And Devin Booker said, fuck that. I'm injuring my knee. I'm not doing this shit. And he almost gave the guy who replaced him, Mike Conley, a 3-point contest. But Steph Curry, did you at least watch the highlights of Steph Curry stealing it away?
I knew it was.
He knew he was going to do it too, because you could tell he knew exactly how much he needed. He got him that last money ball. He stopped and he was just like,
"Yep,
whoop."
Yeah. I mean, you had to know the only other one he was in, he won, which was very early in his career.
Yeah.
And so now it's back to the Splash Brothers, like you said. And I was kind of iffy. The start was horrible.
Yeah.
The action starts at 6, and then you just have them talking. No, at 5, and you literally have them talking until 6:30, and you're like, all right, bet something's gonna finally happen. And then shout out to oh my gosh, one of the skills challenge competitors. He plays for the Blazers. He's been a traveler.
Covington?
Yes.
Yeah.
He shout out to him for giving $25,000 to 2 different student athletes for Tennessee State, his college that he went to, one of the HBCU. Shout out to him for that. That was awesome. But that's literally the only cool thing that happened in the 20 minutes that was before the skills competition. Like just all the talking and bickering. Nobody cares about Chris Paul and Shaq's bickering. It's happened before. We've all seen it. Who cares? Let's get to the action. And man, Chris Paul bumming passes. Luka just really he said, I wasn't warmed up. He didn't want to do it. He didn't care. He was just waiting on the All-Star game so he could show up and show out. He didn't give a damn about that. But and shout out, that was pretty fun. Sabonis. Gosh. He's good, man.
He's so talented as a big guy.
That man is
he's
good.
So skilled.
So. And everything. And he's that Pacers team. I mean, they definitely knew what they were doing when they freed up Oladipo and him. But man, that was a gimme for him kind of there at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and then like we said, Steph did Steph things, but then the game happened, and the only good players that were left were all on Team LeBron because Durant didn't want to play or wasn't going to play. Booker didn't play. AD didn't play. All of those guys would have been on that side. So it was LeBron, Giannis, Steph, and Lillard just taking over, with Chris Paul actually doing a really good job distributing to those guys because that's his role anyway. So he's like, you know what, whatever. So it just got out of hand. LeBron won all 4 quarters. It got out of hand really quick. So Steph and Lillard just started jacking up half-court shots and making most of them, which was
Once you saw Giannis and LeBron, and then Steph and Dame Dollar.
Yeah.
I don't. You can bring back freaking 96 Jordan and Scotty and throw them on the East. Bring back 92 Magic. Bring back 87 Larry. I don't give a damn. That team is still going to get stumped the way they did.
Yeah.
That was insane. Giannis 16 for 16.
Including 3 for 3 from 3, which was awesome.
Yeah. Did you see that last pull up from 3?
Yeah.
To go 16 for 16, Reggie Miller. He's like, no, and then it banks in. Yeah, like that was absolutely amazing to see. And I mean, it was for the players publicly letting us know they didn't want to be there. They weren't wanting to do it. They still put on a damn good show. It was a really good game. I mean, like you said, it got out of hand quick, but it always is kind of a lackadaisical factory
Of course.
But it was still half court shot at back-to-back half court shots.
A lot
And
of cool
then
alley oops. Zion had some nice oops.
And then even one of the Giannis rebounds, instead of him just throwing it back up, he turned around and then came back around some weird triangular vortex bullshit that I could never do. But yeah, it was a great show. I enjoyed it. And even the highlights, there was a lot of highlights in that boring exhibition game.
For sure. And then even Steph Curry got an alley-oop, which was kind of cool. I was surprised that he got up like that. But then the dunk contest happened, and I thought there were better dunks in the game myself. The one that won, the guy like went to go act like he was kissing the rim. And I was with Shaq. If he would have actually kissed the rim, that would have been awesome. But he just kind of did that while he was dunking. Anybody could do that.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything special to do it.
Yeah, so I was working, and when that was going on, I was slammed, so I didn't get to see it. And you told me it was weak, and I told you, okay, kind of good. I didn't get to see it. I went back, watched it, wasn't impressed. I feel like the only reason he won is because just throwing homage after homage after homage.
Right.
Like, how can you not?
Well, the T-Mac dunk was pretty cool that he did.
Yeah,
but that was in the first round. Like, he should have done that at the end.
But he got the dunks in, and he just was throwing homages. So why not? And then shout out to Jaylen Brown. T-Mac getting all the love in Atlanta, which is weird. For it to be there that so much this year. But Jaylen Brown, who has put his game after T-Mac's, T-Mac tweeted a couple years ago, "Stay humble, stay hungry." So he came out with some of the old T-Mac. I forget what year they were. I used to have the blue ones, but he had one red, one blue, and it's humble and hungry on each one. Dope shoes.
And he played well too. He looked pretty good out there. I thought he was going to be the outmatched kid that didn't really belong, but he looked good. He even tried a half court shot and he missed. And
when you look at him and Tatum, you just wonder like, what the hell Danny Ainge doing, man? Why can't they win?
I don't know. They should be winning. They really should. But yeah, so the second half of the season gets to start up, I think, Thursday? Wednesday, I think, is the first couple games. But Suns play Thursday, so that's all I care about. But we're moving forward, and you got to think this is when it's going to come to crunch time. Anthony Davis is going to come back. Kevin Durant's going to come back. Do you see the standings shifting all that much? I know we both talked about we think we see the Nets jumping Philly. But the top four in each side, do we see a lot of change? The LA teams jumping us maybe?
No, because if Anthony Davis comes back, he's going to break himself. He's going to ruin the rest of his career, and the Lakers are going to be fucked. They are going to get knocked out in the first round by the Jazz, by the Suns, by the Nuggets, by any team that they go against, because that team is not structured to win 7 games against the same team. I don't give a damn what LeBron is, what LeBron has. What did we do in 18? Nothing, because we didn't have Kyrie. I mean, you're not going to be able to get it done. So I don't see too much switching up in the West. Yeah, the Nets are probably going to end up with a 6-7 game lead on the second place team in the East. I mean, it's going to end up ridiculous when KD's back and he's healthy, and he's been through this Achilles thing, so he's learned. I ain't touching the court until I'm ready. And
until they need him, and they're going to be first without him, so it doesn't matter.
So I mean, I see him sitting, but if he was to come back during the regular season, then they could get some separation and walk away with the East pretty easily. We're both in agreement that the East is pretty top heavy this season. A lot of injuries all over the league, but a lot in the East, and has made a lot of the mid-range teams just totally fall off and be out. The Heat are on the up and up again here, but other than that, the East is what it is. The Pacers aren't really going to be too much of a problem.
The Bucks really probably won't be too much of a problem. It doesn't look like so.
Nah. So I mean, but on the West, you got to be happy to be a Suns fan.
I'm very happy. You got to be. I'm
happy.
hoping that Booker can stay on the court. And I joked that he got injured to avoid the All-Star game, but this man gets injured once every 3 weeks or so. So I'm really hoping that. It's just a little mild sprain, but if it were somebody that never gets injured, you'd go, oh, it's just a mild sprain, no big deal. But when it's him who's getting injured all the time, you're like, shit, it's just something else. And I say, let's sit him until the freaking playoffs. We just need him for those. But obviously that's not what's going to happen. But he scares me more than anything because he just gets injured all the time.
Yeah, if you guys could just wrap up that 3 seed, man, you guys got a pretty good path, and
Right.
just hope for the best. And I really do, for AD's sake, that he doesn't come back and play until at least the playoffs, and hopefully not this season if they don't need him to. They're going to need him absolutely with the roster they have right now, but I just hope that it's not within the next couple weeks.
Yeah. What I love about the Suns, and obviously I'm a homer, but I do have some sort of fact-based knowledge behind my claims. But I think we have the most. Maybe the Clippers would challenge us on this, but we have the team that can do all the stuff. Like anybody on our team can win a game. We could, if you need 4 wins, we can have a game where DeAndre Ayton goes 20 and 20 and gets us. We have a game where Booker drops 60. We can have a game where Chris Paul takes over, or we can just have a game where the others, as Shaq likes to say, where Jay Crowder, Bridges, Kaminsky, all those guys all get into double digits and we win that way. Whereas we saw with the Jazz, especially last year, what they have to do. It's Donovan Mitchell dropping 50 every single night, and you eventually run out of being able to do that. Yeah, and so that's why I'm happy as a Suns fan. We don't need that one guy to do it every single night.
And it's crazy with the Suns. It seems like you guys get that traveler, Saric, who seems to come back into fruition with you guys. Think of Jay Crowder. When he was Boston, he ended up getting traded to Cleveland in the IT trade, and he was kind of helped us out a little bit, not too much, but definitely helped us out. But just the consistency wasn't there. Now you can consistently rely on that man to give you 15 to 20 points a game, and he only needs 20 minutes. Like you don't have to rely on him to come out. Just give somebody some fresh legs real quick, give them a little rest, and he'll just going to come out and spray out 15, 20 for you. It's insane that you guys always are able to figure that out and coaching.
Monty Williams.
Monty is the guy, but it doesn't really matter who the coach is. It's just something in that desert air just brings the youth back into people.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't know what it is. I've been in Phoenix and it's not really that nice. So I'm not really sure.
If it's anything like in Las Vegas and the rash that was on my legs, I would hate to live anywhere dry.
It's definitely dry and gross. But yeah, so I think we have more top to bottom talent than the Jazz and even the Lakers. Obviously, if AD shows up, it's a different story. But the Clippers are the one team that kind of worries me. Unless Pandemic P shows back up, they're going to be. I think I can foresee for sure a Western Conference Finals of us and the Clippers. If we upset the Lakers, they upset the Jazz, and we're there.
Oh yeah, and with Chris Paul, he's already showed he's got the Bears number. He's ready. So if you meet up with them in the chip, it's going to be hard. I don't know. I'm starting to think whoever plays the Nets is pretty screwed.
Kevin Durant is going to be fighting James Harden. But if James Harden just does what he's been doing, where he's just trying to get like 15 assists tonight, and he'll take his 15 and 15 instead of trying to go for 40-point triple doubles like he was on the Rockets. If he says, listen, Kyrie, KD, Joe Harris, you guys take care of the scoring, I'll just get you the ball, nobody can touch him. Not a chance. But if Harden's like, I deserve this, and he starts to do that shit.
No, ever since Kyrie has told him he's the point guard, he has actually been starting to play like a solid point guard. And that team has been looking scary.
Right. Yeah. I hope he decides to get a little bit of that Westbrook mentality and says, I need to win a ring for me, and shoots them out of the game.
And I'm kind of pissed off. We have the trade deadline coming up, and every other day it's like, the Cavs are interested in moving Andre Drummond. That's why he's sitting. The Cavs are interested in moving Kevin Love. The Cavs are willing to move Taurean Prince. Like, we just got this man. Like, what are we doing? The Cavs are willing to move Jared Allen. Like, what? Come on,
Jared Allen should be the only untouchable guy you guys have.
Literally started out 3-0, and then we started getting injured. We have a good team. We got a nice trade package.
You started playing well with it.
Dude, Kobe Altman can get.
All right, so before we jump into the football, let's talk a little bit about something with hockey. I don't know if you saw it, but Eddie made me aware of it. The ESPN has signed a deal with the NHL. So it's no longer just NBC catching only Penguins games every couple nights. ESPN is going to actually, so that means there will be games on ESPN Plus, I'm sure. Not to mention the obvious ones that will be on ESPN and things like that. Do you think this helps hockey? I mean, obviously hockey has been needing something, and NBC is a big program, but the commentary is going to be better on ESPN. The exposure is going to be better on ESPN. Do you think this really helps the state of hockey?
Oh, excuse me. Absolutely. I mean, where we grew up mostly Braves fan and Magic's fans because that's where the games that we were able to see.
Right.
And that's really how it is. And that's hockey isn't geographically set up in the best way to be spread out. Even here, we have the Panthers, probably an hour and a half down the road. But if you don't have Fox Sports Florida, then you're probably not watching any of the games. So just for them being on ESPN and most likely with that being available on ESPN Plus, that exposure is going to go way up, help out hockey a lot more. Because a lot of people that like football and basketball and stuff like that look at hockey like a whole bunch of Canucks who like to fight. And once you start watching it, hockey is fun and the meat of it, there's beauty there.
Yeah.
And it's real beauty. And like tonight, I was watching a little bit of the Washington game. And hey, shout out Ovechkin. He's been showing a lot of youth, and he's been showing a lot of grit. He ain't letting nobody mess with him. Giving
Did he hit the nut check?
Yeah. I mean, and then I watched a little bit tonight. He's shout out to Ovechkin. He's showing flashes.
It's crazy that he can still do so much at his age.
Yeah.
Because Crosby obviously can do stuff, but their game is different. And it's crazier to see Ovechkin doing the things that he can do.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the what's that asshole's name on the Penguins? That's Boston. That's no, it is the
Which
Penguins.
asshole are you talking about?
His last name starts with an M. His first name starts with a T.
Oh,
I don't know.
Who you're
he's a douchebag, but he's really starting to become a good hockey player. But and that's why they're destroying everybody.
I don't know.
But yeah, he doesn't have a lot of people. It's just old O and a good goalie.
Yeah, basically. So I mean, it's going to be cool to get to see them on ESPN. I think the commentary will be a lot better, and that's exciting because NBC just doesn't have the money. They have Sunday Night Football, which I think they lost that too, didn't they? So it's going to be really, really tough to see what NBC does with this. They'll still have the Olympics, and that's what they'll bank on. But they need to make sure they can make money those other 3 years.
And real quick, I just thought about it. I wanted to shout it out. Didn't write any notes this week. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors. Sometime this month, I don't know if it's the 17th or the 24th, the exact date or whatever, but they're doing an all-women's broadcast of their game against the Nuggets. When I heard that, I was like, hell yeah. But you know me, I hate that type of shit is even a headline. But it's really cool, and it's crazy that I mean, it took till this long because we've had all men commentators for so long, and we have great women sports commentators and journalists all over the place. They're everywhere. And for it just now to be happening is crazy to me, but I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. And shout out to the Raptors for doing that, bringing that into fruition. I don't know the exact date, either the 17th or the 24th. Do a quick Google search real quick.
Speaking of women and basketball, UCF women have made it to the semifinals. It's so exciting. And I know nobody really watches women's college basketball. Even a lot of the big heads get really annoyed with it because they're all cocky, misogynistic pigs. But I still enjoy it because they're more my level. I can't dunk either. That's where I'm at. And I still think it's exciting because I like the technical part of basketball. But anyways, the AAC is so much more exciting because UConn is no longer in it and other teams have a chance. So UCF is the 2 seed, and we really need to win next game to get into the playoffs. So tomorrow we get to play Houston, and right now in the bracketology, we are in the last 4 in, and Houston is in the first 4 out. So we have to win this game against Houston. It's going to be on ESPN tomorrow night. Or ESPNU, one of the ones that are on the app. So I'm going to watch that, and I'm hoping that we can get through and get to the tournament. The UCF women have been doing really well lately, getting in the tournament pretty much every year.
So the broadcast is March 24th for the Raptors game. But real quick, a quick comment on that. You saying I could never dunk either. I mean, I couldn't. Got close.
I got
real
close.
close. I can't palm it. I can't palm the ball, so I would have to be able to get up there and throw it in.
Right.
And I'm not getting that up there.
You got to get even higher.
Yeah, I could barely get that. I think I used to get that wrinkle on my ring finger.
I could dunk a volleyball on the Grace
a little
rim.
bit, but that Grace rim was beautiful
because it was nice.
But yeah, but so we're in 2021. We have MMA fighters that are guys fighting girls. We have community college guys that are saying they're girls.
Well,
bro, I could easily transition, go D2.
You could have.
Could have. I still can. This man was like 38 years old playing for some.
Oh, that one guy with the tattoos? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, bro. About. I could transition. His thing's still swinging.
Yeah, it is.
All I got to do is put on some makeup, throw some hormones.
You don't even have to take the hormones, really. Because
just classify.
Because Biden has put out an executive order that says whatever you claim or whatever you classify as or whatever. So you can just say like, I identify, that's the word. I identify as a woman, and you can go play. And politics aside, like I'm pro-trans, I'm pro all that. If that's what you feel like you got to do, you do it. But they shouldn't be playing against women, like, and
absolutely.
And it's
if you can,
yeah,
Brandy
it's a hard
Seal
balance.
From 3.
It's a hard balance because I want them, if they want to be said, if a man transitioning to a woman wants to be called 100% woman, cool. Hey, I'll call you a woman all day long. Whatever. That's your thing. I had a manager at Walgreens that was male to female, and I called her she, I called her whatever. But when you're doing an athletic endeavor, there's reasons why the gap is there. And just to keep it non-political as much, but with facts, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, the hurdler, world record holder for women, FloJo, the world record holder, there were 38 high school boys that would have broken her record last year. She's the world record holder, and 38 high school boys just last year did it faster than her. So that's not, whatever that is, whatever reason that is, whatever, but that's just the facts. That's what's happening. So you can't let those people come and just break records all day long in the women's sports. It's kind of sad.
No, I agree with that for sure. But I mean,
I say let them have their own thing, man. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I'd go get triple dubs. Actually, I'd probably lose. I'd lose to them too, but
I still wouldn't play defense. I'd get scored on all day long. I'm like, come on, man.
Who was that? Crochet? Crochet at PHS? She would have beat me.
No, shit.
She was a baller.
And oh my gosh. Her dad, legend at PHS.
Oh,
same name.
Yeah. John L. Williams, but her name is John L. Like
her name is John L. Yes,
yeah.
But John L. Will yes, John L. This girl here was a beast.
Yeah.
Her dad was like 6'8", 350. She was like
he was shorter than that, I think.
Oh, really?
He was probably like 6'6".
Oh, shorter than that. But this girl was like 5'10", like 220, just square. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she was solid. She was good.
And Terry used to make me practice with her and do post-up drills with her, and that girl was strong as shit. So yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it would be easy for me to transition and just run and make UCF the number 1 seed or anything like that. I'm just saying I have a hell of a better chance playing women's basketball than I do men's basketball.
Remember that movie Juwanna Mann? Yeah. That's all I ever think about when I hear all these stories. I just hear about Juwanna Mann.
You could never have that movie. Would never be made nowadays.
No, not
that is offensive as shit.
Yeah, it is. But stop. It's still funny. So let's shift now. It sucks. I wish they had their own class, but they don't want their own class, so that's for them to decide, not me. I'm not in the. I'd watch either way. So let's move to the NFL, and let's talk about these franchise tags, these free agents.
Maybe you just came up with the new spring football league,
dude. I mean, if there were enough of them, and they would want to do it, but the problem is they don't want to do it because they want to be called women. So it's like, dude, just be proud of who you are and go play some football or whatever it is.
They're starting to. I'm starting to see. I mean, I forget what it was that they didn't want to be. The trans was good, but after that wasn't, and then they changed it. So now, I think it was transgendered. They didn't like the gender part,
Right.
because that's what they were trying to get away from. So I think, but it's starting to be more accepted. I mean, I'm down in South Florida, so it's not all deep South like I'm used to in Palatka and Jacksonville, stuff like that. I've been down here for like 6 years now, but yeah, no, I feel like it's becoming more of an accepted thing. And I mean, you are who you are at the end of the day. And if you want to play sports against each other. Don't go and do MMA and crush real women's skulls.
Literally, like break their eye socket and stuff.
Again, facts. These are facts.
Just facts. All right, so let's talk about the NFL. Do you want to talk about the tags first, or the free agents that are? Well, let's talk
first
about the
off,
tags.
I want to shout out Dak Prescott for finally getting paid. Just a day or two after Jerry Jones, I thought stupidly saying Dak has all the cards. The ball's in Dak court. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something along those Jerry Jones lines.
And the great thing about it is Dak doesn't even have to play football to get paid. He can just break his leg tomorrow and be fine. Still get paid. So it was it was like a $60 million signing bonus, $66 million signing bonus.
$66 million signing
bonus. And
bonus.
126 guaranteed, something like that.
Something stupid like that. He's getting paid $40 million a year for the next 4 years.
4 years.
Get some static in my phone. So shout out to Dak, somebody that I've advocated for on this podcast before. A couple of my friends, C. Stein, we know, a good friend of mine, loves the Cowboys, love Dak Prescott. On one of the things his mom got me for me, I don't know if it's in here, I don't see it. But Dak's up there next to old stupid, can't think of his name right now. Nose Pearson, running back. Where's this number?
Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke, Zeke, and then C. Stein. But yeah, Dak's this guy, and I'm happy for him. Everybody loves Dak. Dak deserves it, even with his injury. If he wasn't able to take a snap again, he deserved this contract. So shout out to him for getting it, and shout out to Jerry Jones for finally paying a man that doesn't have the pigmentations as I do.
I got some video. Hold on.
Like,
I don't care about Allen Robinson. All right.
Oh, yeah, Allen Robinson. Shout out to him too, but he's not happy. I was really ready for him. I was really ready for him to come back. But I mean, it's just always been a thing with the Cowboys, and you knew that was kind of the ghost in the room when it came to the talks, and it really pissed me off and upset me. If it would have been a Tony Romo, it doesn't matter if he came to a playoff game, he's getting paid. So shout out to him for finally fucking doing it for that.
And honestly, like you said, shout out to Jerry Jones or shout out to the Cowboys or whoever, but it's the right move, regardless of if it's Dak, if it's he deserves it, which I also agree with you in that. But it's the right move. This division is obviously up for grabs, and Dak is the best quarterback in the division. So get him back, let him do his thing. And the Cowboys are set up. If he can stay healthy, they almost made the playoffs. Again, a shitty division, but without him. So with him, it's the right move to do to bring him back and really sign him for 4 years and say, Washington, what can you do to us? Because the other two teams are out of it. I don't even think they're good. So it's the right move.
And for them, like what do they have to get via draft and free agency that is better or comparable to Dak? Deshaun is the only person that I could think of. Maybe they could sneak a Zach Wilson, maybe, but all these experts talk on Zach Wilson right now is ridiculous. Did you see that somebody, I forget who, maybe Todd McShay or one of them said that he saw a little bit of Pat Mahomes and a little bit of who else? But somebody else, just a wild, like two top quarterback. Like Zach Wilson, went to BYU. That anybody can not anybody can go to BYU, but if you're a top quarterback, you probably had a lot more options than going to Brigham Young University.
Yeah.
And then for two, I mean, it's not the 60s anymore, guys.
I mean, maybe he's just a Mormon.
Maybe.
I mean, I know they got that sort of claim.
And then for two, nobody was talking about Zach Wilson like that because BYU wasn't winning games like Mac Jones was, like freaking our guy. Holy crap. I'm having
Kyle Trask.
Yeah, Kyle Trask.
Jeez, you've forgotten a couple of easy names already.
Hey, my brain has been going bad on me lately. All right, so
clearly,
yeah. But he's not winning games like these guys are. And Kyle Trask is going to fall down the draft. He's going to be a 3rd round, 4th round pick that's going to back up somebody for a couple years, and then he's going to end up being that Pat Mahomes type guy in my eyes. But it's weird to me. Like you had to do this. Just if he is able to come back from this injury at 100%, he is the best guy in that division, like you said, and he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. The only other person that you could probably go out and get is Deshaun Watson, and it doesn't seem like Houston's going to let him go. And you can't wait around, and you damn sure can't keep Dak on that franchise tag.
You already have Dak for free as far as player-wise is concerned, and you would have to give up so much to get Deshaun, even if Houston was willing to give him.
What was the quarterback this year? $18 million?
Oh,
I don't have it
tag?
up right now.
I don't know what the tag amounts were.
I just had it. It's gone now. But yeah, so they gave him an extra $22 million a year.
Nice.
This year. Just this year, an extra $22 million this year. And, here's $66 million, too, to go along with your contract that they didn't have to do. They already had him on the franchise tag. They were already ready to go with it. Done deal. Injured, franchise tag. So fucked up. But so I'm really happy that got done. That's the way I would like to start this NFL conversation.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I'm very happy with that. So I'm trying to find the amounts, but I can't find them. So let's talk first about who was franchise tagged so far, because that will lead into who is obviously a free agent based on who did not get tagged. And we'll start with Tampa Bay. And this is why I was looking at the numbers, because Chris Godwin was our franchise tag. I thought that we were going to franchise tag Shaq Barrett and sign Levante David. We did sign Levante David, 2 years, $25 million. Nice contract, team-friendly contract. Chris Godwin got tagged, which is a $16 million tag, essentially. I don't know what linebacker tag is for Barrett. And that might be why we chose to not franchise tag him.
Quarterback is 24.1 mil. So I was way off on those numbers. The linebacker tag that you're talking about right now is 15.6.
Okay, so it's both would have been 15. So that's not the reason.
Another thing that pissed me off when I started the show talking about the Jaguars doing Cam Robinson, he's going to earn $14.5 million. This man on Pro Football Focus, the guys who literally do this at a freaking TV all day long at one person, watching different plays and seeing what he does and grades him against other people, has never graded this guy above like an 82 or something ridiculous. Like, they don't look at him in positive eyes. And he's just going to make $14.5 million. And I feel like our hopes is just franchise tag him, get him, because what else are we going to get? Trent Brown? He doesn't want to go anywhere. It looks like he's going to get stuck. Not Trent Brown. He's the one that just got traded. Trent Williams. Yeah. He looks like he's just going to get stuck. So what else are we going to get? Something better in the draft? No, we're getting Trevor Lawrence, and then hopefully with the next pick, we're going to get something on defense. We don't have the ability to do that with one of our higher options. So keep him around, but hopefully we're able to find something. But $14.5 million is absurd to give a man who hasn't done jack shit at the left tackle position, which is the most important position in the offensive game of football.
It's true. So anyway, so Chris Godwin got tagged for 15. I'm very happy about that. I wanted Godwin to stay on our team, and I think the tag is a good thing for him because he can prove himself again, or he can not, because he looked pretty good 2 years ago, but injury prone. And then this year he was injury again. So we wanted him to just prove that he can do something, but we'll get to the free agents in a minute, but we got to sign Shaq Barrett if we can.
It's also Godwin's one of those guys that you franchise tag now and work out a contract next year, right?
That's what you would think. You
would have liked to not give him this much money because the wide receiver is one of the bigger sums of the tag. Brady's talking about doing smaller money. Mike Evans came in talking about it as well. And then you have Godwin that's in free agency year, and he doesn't even get the chance to even do it. Bam, we're just going to franchise tag you. You ain't even going to get the chance to walk. We're going to pay you. And you have all these other guys that are like, but we're taking less, man. Why do you get an extra $2-3 million?
Yeah, and what you're saying with the sign or tag and then sign later, that's exactly what the Jets decided to do with Marcus May. But Marcus May is probably not as happy about it because he's only going to be making like $10 million.
What's he, safety?
And he's a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, 11.1.
So he's a Pro Bowler, and he's only going to be making 11 mil because the Jets smartly said, "Hey, we want to work out a deal with you, but let's only pay you 10 for now or 11 for now, and figure it out." So good move on the Jets, but you don't want to piss off your Pro Bowlers, like your one Pro Bowler you have.
For sure, absolutely. But yeah, so let's talk about a couple of those pissed off guys. Allen Robinson, thinking he's about to be a free agent.
He was ready, boy.
Ready to go. Like in all these people's Twitters. Yep. Ready to go. Just replying to people's dumb tweets. And now he's franchise tagged. He's stuck. Who was the Giants guy? Leonard
Williams. He's
beast.
He's going to make a lot of money. So
he's going to make a lot of money, but he could be making a hell of a lot more money for a team who really needs a defensive lineman. And there's a lot of teams with really good offensives, but can't get pressure on the quarterback and could really use a Leonard Williams. So he was probably looking at a potential payday, and now that's...
Well, he's getting payday. I don't know what the high-end defensive linemen make, but he's on his second franchise tag year, so I think he's making like $20 million.
Oh, it goes up the more you're tagged?
If you get tagged consecutive times, they pay you more and more times.
There's like a bonus?
That's why Dak was going to have to get a shit ton if they tagged him again.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's making like 20 million, but he's probably still mad about it, obviously, because you want years. You don't want to just be making a lot of money.
Leonard's he's an end, right? Yeah. 17.7.
But that's for the base. So I think he's probably making more than that because it's
he's probably going to be making like 21 or something.
So that's good.
It's probably like 25%.
But he doesn't want to play for the Giants, I bet. But I think they'll be all right. Saquon's going to come back. They're going to be okay. They're not going to be on the Washington level or the other or Dallas level. But the only other team that really made a tag that was weird to me is Marcus Williams got tagged by the Saints. And that's just odd because he's not good. He hasn't been good. He has one interception in his career, which is a 4-year career so far. And he got tagged. So I'm really not sure what they were trying to do there, but hey, whatever. I don't really understand how the tag works as far as cap hit and all that. So maybe they were just trying to keep it simple and do something crazy.
What do you think about the Vegas Raiders not using their tag and a team that you need to keep a couple of these guys around and a team that has a hell of a lot of players that are like they're leaving and you need to try not to pay them too much and there's not enough free agents to keep that squad going. And oh, by the way, you have a two-headed monster and John Gruden and Mayock that are sitting there telling you they're going to sell their souls for this team. But
I mean, who would they have tagged though? Honestly, who would they have tagged? I'm not sure. Might as well just save the money. And again, I don't know how it works with the cap. I'm sorry. I'm not I am an accountant, but I don't really know football accounting. So maybe it made smarter sense to not tag somebody and try to get some free agents. Yeah. I'm not sure though. But
yeah, I mean, that was weird to me just because that's just one of the teams that you expect every single year that they're just going to keep somebody around just because that's their MO. They're trying to maintain and keep this flow going from 2 years ago and what we're going into year 3 now and it's still not looking too hot.
True.
Over in the desert.
Well, maybe they're looking at some of these free agents they're coming off the board or coming onto the board. So far as of earlier today, I think the franchise tag deadline is done. So these guys should hit the free market. And Trent Williams is the top of that list. And it's weird because do you think, one, that he should be the top of the list? Obviously, he's a great Hall of Famer, probably, offensive tackles, but he's getting older. He's going to start playing a little bit less and less and less. Is that a guy you're looking to give a big contract to?
I would absolutely love to pay him over Cam Robinson. That's definitely the name I would love to replace with. So, yeah, he should be the top of that list because even if you only have 2 years, getting Trevor Lawrence, keeping him protected for this first 2 years on his blind side, that's a huge, huge plus to have. Let me give that man fucking $18 million instead of giving this blob 14.5. Not calling him fat. He'll probably beat my ass. He's just hasn't done anything. It's just a big blob on the stat sheet. But no, One guy that I'm really interested in, Kyle Van Noy got released out of nowhere by the Dolphins. He's a stud, bro. He's a stud. He's still got a good meat of his prime left on him, and he is committed to the team. He took money off of his contract to stay with that team, and now he got released. So that's a guy that should slide up to number 2 on that updated list there. He's going to make any defense better. If you have any hole in your linebacker core, plug him in. He's going to be the guy that you need to replace. I mean, we're good. We got Miles Jack. We got Schobert. We're doing pretty damn good, and we're going to be running out of a 3-4 now, so Allen's going to be able to just let loose towards the quarterback. He doesn't have to worry about dropping off into coverage or anything like that. That's going to be more on the inside guys than Jack and Schobert. So I'm ready to go with that. We don't need a Kyle Van Noy, but there's a hell of a lot of teams that could. If Shaq Barrett ends up walking, that's a name that you guys should be looking at.
And that's the position, of course, right? The edge rusher. A lot of teams are running 3-4s now. A lot of teams are running these weird edge rushers, and it looks huge right now. Maybe that's why we dropped or didn't tag Shaq Barrett, because we could compete, because Shaq Barrett's in there. Bud Dupree, who has a torn ACL, but he's great. Trey Hendrickson, Jadeveon Clowney's in there. Matt Judon's in there. Yannick Ngakoue. The edge rusher is
Matt
huge.
Judon is a guy who just keeps getting better and better and better.
So maybe we thought there would be more competition in the edge rusher, that maybe we can jump in and grab Shaq Barrett a little bit behind the radar, because I just want to sign Shaq Barrett again. But if somebody steals him from us, it's better to go out and be able to get a Matt Judon or a Yannick Ngakoue instead of signing Shaq Barrett and then letting Levante David walk and not being able to fill out that inside linebacker position. So
speaking of Yannick Ngakoue, fuck you. Thanks for not taking that deal from us, bro. You could have got paid for 3 years. Paid for 3 years, bro. But instead you decided, nah, I'm going to walk. Got signed by the Ravens thinking you was going to get some kind of contract. They stiffed your ass, and then they released your ass. All right.
So I guess Syl doesn't think that Yannick is the right move.
No, I mean, there's a lot of Jaguar fans talking like, do we bring Yannick? Fuck him. No, he didn't believe in the team. What, now that we got a great, well, I hope it's going to be a great NFL coaching staff, but great coaching staff looks like great hires all around. If they're gel together, that has a lot to do with it. If Urban's going to be a good NFL coach, that has a hell of a lot to do with it. But yeah, just because we're the bees right now, and we're the hot thing on the streets. Don't come trying to walk back to us. Nah, bro, you can get $7 million a year.
All right. Well, a position that I'm actually really interested in, because we will probably lose Leonard Fournette to big money. Green Bay let Aaron Jones walk.
Yeah.
I will take Aaron Jones. I mean, if he wants to fall to us, I doubt he will. We don't have the money to give.
Bro, he's Rojo and Leonard Fournette having a baby.
Yeah. So if we lose Leonard Fournette to big money and we can sign Aaron Jones to less money, please and thank you. That is a guy I'm actually looking at. Obviously, Shaq Barrett, like you mentioned, but aside from him, I'm looking at Aaron Jones. I'd love to have him come into the fold.
Yeah, I was surprised that they weren't even willing to try to work out a deal with him. They just released. Bye.
Right.
Have a good day. We're not going to franchise tag you. Have fun in free agency.
Go wherever you want.
The reports that I saw. They weren't even trying to see if he was trying to come back. Is there anything we can do to get you back? It was just, we're not going to franchise tag you. Have a good day.
That's crazy, man.
Crazy.
I want him. I'll take him all day.
As Aaron Rodgers over here, who's already pissed off that you took their first round pick and put it on Jordan Love, not signing one of his good friends, one of his long-standing teammates in Aaron Jones, and just letting him walk. And, oh, yeah, that's my best fucking weapon on offense. You can't be happy with old LaFleur.
What do you think they'll draft? They draft late, too, because they were a playoff team. They can't find a great running back. Maybe they can.
I mean,
but
shit, Jonathan Taylor was what, the 28th pick to the Colts. Who was the other guy?
The guy for the Bills that's pretty good was a second-round pick, I think.
Well, he was FAU.
Right. Well, that's why. But he's still good, though.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor was the guy in college in Wisconsin.
Right,
down to 28. There was another guy that was an early second-round pick who his been becoming a stud. I think Derrick Henry was a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah, so maybe they can find a good running back there.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry wasn't even the best Alabama running back picked.
Woo!
Because of Mark Ingram, right?
Woo!
But,
I thought you were gonna say Josh Jacobs. I was about to say major disrespect.
no.
Hey, shout out Big Trust too, getting released from the Ravens. I don't think we ever talked about that.
Yeah.
He had a whole shit ton of custom jerseys sent to his house from his now former teammates.
Right.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't be mad at getting Big Trust in there for 2 or 3 plays.
I'm still hurt about him from being a Saint, but yeah, I'll take him. I'll take him.
Yeah. Nah, I think Derrick Henry, he got a Heisman. He got a ship in Bama.
Right.
He got Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL. Once he becomes he'll be the first running back to win the MVP in 30 years? Walter?
Something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Then he'll. But I mean, I think he's probably already there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's done more. Without a Super Bowl. But the last position in free agency that we don't need, but it's got some good names on it, and that's wide receiver. You got Kenny Golladay out there. You got Will Fuller. You got who's another?
Shout out Kenny Golladay. Sorry, Jared Goff. You're screwed.
Yeah, you got Will Fuller. There was another wide receiver I thought that was a big name, but I can't think of it right now. Curtis Samuel's out. Juju. That's who I was thinking of. Juju, because the team hates Juju right now, so they don't want him to. They don't even want to give him the time of day. He's a character. He's a diva, just like all the rest of the Steelers guys were. So obviously, I don't need him. But what are you thinking coming out of that free agency? The wide receivers there.
Kenny Golladay is going to get paid. Kenny Golladay is the truth. He's one of the only reasons Matt Stafford was relevant in the last couple of years. I mean, his numbers fell off.
Maybe he'll go join Matt Stafford.
But that's because he didn't have a 2-headed monster. Marvin Jones slacked off. Not slack, he got old.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's Kenny Golladay, he's a beast. What is he, like 6'2"?
Yeah, he's a big dude.
190 to 200, and his routes are crisp, and he can burn you with a 4.45 40. So, yeah, he's going to get paid. He's not going to be one of those guys. I can see Juju being one of those guys who settles for $8-9 million for a year and maybe gets a ring. I can see him doing that just because of all the extra that comes in with his backpack, with the TikTok and the bicycle and just all this extra stuff that comes along with being Juju. And like, I don't know if I can come to practice, I'm still streaming Call of Duty. Like, that's just absurd. And I don't know that that's ever happened. That's not facts talking. That's just me thinking of something Juju would probably say to his position coach when it comes to a meeting. Like, oh, I can't get on right now, Zoom right now. I'm on Twitch. But so yeah, I could see, but Golladay is going to get up there and probably make around $17-18 million for a good 3 years.
Does Trevor Lawrence need people to throw to?
Nah. I mean, if he wants to, bro. So the guy we got from Texas, Colin Johnson, I think is his name. Kenny Golladay is Colin Johnson on crack and steroids.
Right.
Like I think Colin has an inch on him, but dude, the things Kenny Golladay, his route tree with his size is insane. He's Demaryius Thomas with an Antonio Brown baby. Like, it's insane. He's absolutely insane one-on-one. And yeah, I mean, I would be totally down if we went out and got him. We don't have that guy. We have Colin Johnson, who at the end of the season was kind of getting more playing time. But if we can have a number one that looks like that and can run like Laviska Shenault that does in the slot, fuck yeah. And I feel like that's going to be every team. So he's going to have a pick of the litter. He's going to have a good 20 teams that are going to be willing to give him that $18 million. So it's going to be exciting to see where he goes. What was the other name that you said?
Will Fuller.
Yeah, he's a slot guy. And
he'll get he's one of those 7-8 million guys to me, and it's just like, hey, go be a guy.
He gets injured.
Yeah.
But when he's not injured and he's healthy, he has a good 4 or 5 games that he gets 100 yards and a touchdown a game, but he finishes the season with 700 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Right. So, but in 6 games played.
It's all because of injuries. So. It's not because of that. It's availability with him. So yeah, he's also going to be one of those guys who's going to have the pick of the litter. Juju's probably going to have 4 or 5 teams that are willing to give him money, and one of them are going to be a team that are up for a ring. So I feel like
I don't know. I think Juju's going to go to some shitty team that's offering big money, because I think the good teams are going to offer him that middle tier, like you said. But there will be one team or 2 teams that offer him a big $15 million contract, and he might be like, all right, let's do it. Let's go make some money.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a team like the Rams, maybe, that are Juju off.
Rams are running out of money, bro.
From being, yeah, they are. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to get that money that are or Juju off from being. Now they have Matt Stafford. Get Matt Stafford and Juju out there. It's going to be like Matt Stafford and Kenny Galladay.
But what if the Washington football team says, you know what, we got $16 million. Let's go ahead and offer it to him.
Well, then, of course, and he's young and stupid, and he's going to go take that money. But he could go get a ring there easily. Green Bay. Young Matt LaFleur, he's like, yeah, I like TikTok. Let's do it. And he can go and get $8-9 million there. They just freed up some money and not signing Aaron Jones.
Right.
And they don't really have anything at the wide receiver position besides Michael Valdez-Scantling.
Mm-hmm.
And shit. What's the other
Well, they
guy?
got the really good guy.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on with me right now. But to add something else, because the more weapons Aaron Rodgers has, the more yards he has. If you add a third receiver, we might see an 8,000 yard.
Maybe that's why they dropped Aaron Jones. They were like, fuck running backs. Let's just all go 5 wide the whole time.
Yeah. Like if you can have, I cannot believe we cannot think of this.
Adams? No. Devontae Adams, yeah.
Devontae Adams, yeah. If you have Devontae Adams, Michael Valdez-Scantling.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I think.
Marquez, yeah, you're right. And then friggin' Juju. That'd be crazy. That would be insane. That would be a hard matchup. Even in zone, you're just hoping to be able to be 5-10 yards around them whenever they get their hands on the ball. Kobe!
Right into the mic, too.
Kobe!
Right into. Did you hear the purr? Right into the mic?
Yeah.
So do you have anybody else you want to talk about before we talk about our night, our UCF night that hopefully will get paid?
No. Nobody comes to mind.
All right. So I hinted Shaquille Griffin, cornerback from the Seahawks. He was allowed to walk. And he's been a starting cornerback now for a couple years with them. He picked up 3 years ago, about halfway through the season. He had a career high 3 interceptions. I know 3 doesn't sound like a shit ton, but 3 interceptions last year. So he looks like he can produce. What sort of market do you think could come out of this? Could UCF have another big time signing guy?
I don't know that he's going to get paid, but he's up there. The cornerbacks have been really letting us down the last like 3 or 4 years. There's only like a good 3 or 4 guys that I feel like deserve that top tier money. And then after that, probably shut off a good $4 or $5 million a year. And yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, he'll probably be able to pick up a good 13, 14 million a year, which compared to what me and you make, that's a nice penny. But I don't think it's going to be anything outrageous. I feel like he will get a long term. I don't think it's just going to be one of those 2 or 3 years. I think it'll probably be up there in the 4 year, just because of his consistency, his availability, and his willingness to do whatever the team needs. He's not one of those guys who, all right, listen, he's a good in coverage. Let's keep him in coverage. All right, he can pressure the quarterback. Whatever you need Shaq to do, Shaq gonna get it done. And he's really up there with the tops. He's just not a top tier.
Well,
corner.
You guys have a new front office now. Well, not high up front office, but a new office people. But you guys have been known to draft UCF players, to sign UCF players. Do you need a cornerback? Do you need a speedster that can break up passes?
Yeah. I mean, Trey Herndon, speaking of Pro Football Focus, he casually gets graded up there in that high 80s, which is really good for cornerbacks.
Right.
But yeah, CJ's been hurt. Shouldn't have changed the number for 21, bum, making me look stupid. But yeah, he was hurt, and even when he was playing, it didn't look too hot. So yeah, I'm definitely down to give him that money. And Irvin, being a Florida guy and doing really good in recruiting, based out of Florida, even when he was in Ohio State, he was able to come down here and nag a couple of Florida boys.
Right.
But I feel like he has some ties. There's got to be some kind of relation somewhere with the Griffin family.
Right. And I'm sure he recruited them a little bit.
I would love to have him and his brother on our team. That would be great. I mean, I don't really know what his brother would do besides kick team coverage and stuff like that.
That's probably all they do,
but his story, his inspiration, just him being on that team and motivating that team, that'd be amazing.
I would take him too, but I know the UCF fans would be upset if we took him because he would be a depth cornerback for us. And they obviously want him to start. And he's proven he can start. But we have 2 good starters. If we signed him, it would be for a minimum contract for depth. So I doubt he's going to come to us. But I'd love to have him.
Yeah, he would definitely be our second cornerback over Trey Herndon. And hopefully over CJ Henderson. But, yeah, he would definitely be one of our core guys. And we're going to be running the 3-4 a lot more. So it's going to open up a hell of a lot more for that third cornerback to come in and play. True. So even if we did get him, he could still see a good 80-90% of the snaps, even if he was the third cornerback in there being running out of love with that nickel.
All right. So good talk on all these free agencies. Hopefully a lot of them will be signed by next week. We can talk about where they went and see if we were right and then actually talk about the fit. But any other shout outs, any other headlines you want to touch on?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Hair. No hats today.
Yeah, to us. To Koa getting his hair all over my legs here. He wanted to come hang out with the podcast. Shout out to Kansas doing the right thing, finally. Dropping Les Miles. I'm not really sure why they hired him in the first place. They said that and again, we don't really talk too much about stuff like this, but they said they didn't find anything when they vetted him. But I'm pretty sure there was some stories already out there, or at least rumors already out there. So for them not to find anything.
Didn't they say like there was like police reports made and stuff like that?
Yeah, they said there was no red flags though. Like Kansas said there was no red flags when they were hiring.
Yeah, but if there's police reports about any kind of suspicious activities that involves the name Les Miles, even if it's Les Miles out of Oklahoma, that's probably going to come up in your search.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's probably something that they threw under the rug. So,
but shout out to them for finally doing the right thing.
I don't even know if that's a shout out on them. Screw you for finally getting the light shed and showing.
It did take the actual NCAA to show the light before they decided to get rid of him. But there's no need for that. There's a lot of people who are capable to have those jobs, and people like that there's no need for that. I mean, you're grooming 18 to 22-year-old kids. We don't need anybody. I don't want anybody like that around my kid, especially when I'm only going to see him like 3 or 4 times a year, unless I'm traveling to see all of his games, and I'm leaving you to deal with him be his
5 days
guardian.
a week. I mean, I know for the most part it's his position coaches, but at the end of the day, you're the head coach. He cares more about what you say to him than what his linebacker coach says to him or quarterback or whatever.
So many players were going to these football schools for him, all the way back to even before LSU. Like,
oh shit! Yeah, shout out to UCF getting all these Auburn boys.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Gus. The Gus bus is rolling. We're getting a lot of transfers in the transfer portals. Once that JUCO portal opens up, I think we're going to get a lot of those as well, because we have been a JUCO school for a long time, or like a JUCO transfer school for a few years now since Scott Frost. I think Gus is going to keep that going.
Yeah.
And
so
we should be right back
to a couple years from now, because I don't believe in Gabriel. I'm not a believer in him.
Woo.
I know. Yeah,
he's going to be a Heisman candidate.
Eddie was shitting on me all last year whenever he kept coming up. Like, what was it, 8-9 games in?
Yeah.
Whenever he kept coming up there, like 5 or 6 in the talks.
We'll see real quick.
I asked him.
We'll see real quick if he's as good as, and it was just Heupel that was messing him up, or if he is this can't win close big games.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
So.
I mean, I hope he turns me into a believer. I would love to see UCF do their thing and end up sneaking into the playoffs finally, because I feel like they're going to be the team to do it. Houston and Cincinnati just can't get it done in bowl games.
Well,
they just can't get it done there at the end. UCF, they get it done.
Cincinnati, we need them to just continue winning too. Like, that's the thing. We screwed Cincinnati this year. The rest of the people in our conference have been screwing us every year that we're going undefeated. We screwed Cincinnati by dropping out of the top 10 real quick. We need both teams to be in the top 10 to 12 when we play each other, and then play each other again. for the championship. That's what we need. So hopefully we're
for
getting
sure.
back to that.
And that's I don't see that. That's why you guys just need to, even if you're all the three of, I mean, you're a three-headed monster in that league. I feel like the American, they're trying to not fall back into that Big East like ness when it comes to football, but it's inevitably going to happen because these ACC teams or organizations are going to come with a lot of money to these Cincinnatis, to these Houstons, because I mean they're consistently great, and like you said, it's these stupid Memphis teams, these Tulane big waves coming around and screwing everything up, and it for you guys it makes a lot more sense to go, hey, if we are going to go 10-2, let's lose to Georgia, let's lose to Florida and go be part of the SEC, or let's go lose to Clemson and for some reason lose to Miami on an in-state new rival. Like that makes a lot more sense than staying in the ACC and never even getting any kind of big bowl bids because you're not in the Power 5.
And honestly, like I still see expansion being a thing. I can see the AAC being targeted by all those really big time. Like Cincinnati could go to the Big Ten like that because Ohio is already owned by them. Houston and SMU could both go to the Big 12. And we could go slide right into the ACC with no problem.
And Luke Fickell seems to be like staying, like he's in it for the long haul.
And Gus should be that same way because he doesn't need a stepping stone anymore. You wouldn't think. He's already been there. He's already done that. So hopefully he turns into our George O'Leary just better. Yeah. All right. So you got something cool to end this with? You've been brain farting all day. I want to see what you can come out with.
I haven't done it in a while.
I know.
But you know I can do it. Let's ride off into the sunset. And what's the better way to ride off into the sunset than a beautiful bus? This bus, it's got a loud mouth. This bus, it has heart. And it's rolling right into Orlando. And let's get on that bus. And let's be like Gus and be a stud and not a scrub. Ooh, I messed it up.
You are a scrub.